I want to introduce Miss Rachel Lynn Sebastian from the excuse me, Shamanic School of Mediumship. Sorry about that. And she will be going over today what mediumship is and what mediumship is not. Please welcome Rachel.
Get it? Isn't that what they say? Who's a little bit tired? Who's already thinking ahead of today and going, how can I get through all these speakers? Right? Let's get real. Who's looking forward to the party? Right? What if we started the party right? Meow. Right? What if we had a morning slumber party vibe? Would that feel good? Y'all can roll up in your blankets. This woman, we walked in here and she was just waking up. And she said, I'm excited for the day. And when I first drove up today, I was driving with my brothers. And my brother said, man, I'm feeling you. And I said, I'm going to cry today, brother. He's like, do you need anything? Shun said, do you need anything? Bree said, did you need anything? And I said, I use whatever I'm feeling. I don't look at it as a burden. I don't look at it as something to get rid of. I spent years just constantly transmuting energy, transforming, transmuting, releasing, transforming, transmuting, releasing, transforming. Who? Anybody resonate with that? Right? And the energy of, get this shit out of here. I don't care where you go. Just get out. Right? I've had virus in my body. I've had cancer in my body. And that was that same energy. Get this out. But at the end of the day, that was part of me and how I identified. And what Spirit says is make peace with that which you're trying to get rid of first. Because that's who you really are. You are not a judgmental being. You are not that which judges something as good or bad or right or wrong or further ahead or less experienced. No. You are all things. And that which you're trying to get rid of is something that is wanting compassion, wanting to be known. Isn't that what they say? You only fear something that you don't know. So the invitation now is to close your eyes if that feels right. And to tune in to something that you're wanting to get rid of. It can feel like an energy that feels uncomfortable, insatiable in a way that feels like, I wish I could get rid of this desire even. Some of you are wanting to get rid of desires. I want to get rid of this feeling. Could be just a feeling. This emotion. What are you wanting to get rid of? And the invitation now is to speak directly to it, as if it had its own spirit. And you could sway with the music. Mediumship is taking in everything in the environment and working with it. Not trying to work around it, not taking a detour, but working through it and with it. So feeling the music now and feeling the energy in your body that you're wanting to get rid of, the invitation is to repeat after me and replace any words that feel like they're needing to be replaced according to your desire. I see you. You can say this to yourself. I see you. And I really feel this uncomfortable energy between us. And something doesn't feel right about you being in my field. But I'm willing to love myself for feeling this way. It makes so much sense why I would feel this way. But I also want you to know that my intention is to cause you to feel not judged. See if you can find that space. Call the space. Bree would say the liminal space. That non-judgmental space that feels like not resisting and not forcing. Imagine yourself in that space now. If you feel yourself forcing, feel your body pull back to where you're forcing no longer. If you feel yourself resisting, feel your body step forward. Take a deep breath. Let out a sigh if that feels right. Take a deep breath. The invitation is to let out a tone, an actual tone. Now, still working with that energy. In mediumship, we give everything a voice. Still working with that energy. Ask the angels, your guides, your spirit team, ask them to show you the tone of the feeling in your side of your body that feels the most uncomfortable. Say, show me the tone, angels, or show me the tone, my guides, or show me the tone, ancestors, and listen for the exact tone and frequency. Because in 5 seconds, I'm going to invite you to tone that out loud, not only the exact note, but the exact frequency. I'm going to do it with myself first and create an example. The invitation on the count of 5, if it feels right, is to tone out the exact tone that you're being shown of the discomfort in your body. Inhale here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and tone. Continue to tone, repeating the same tone if it feels like it needs more. If it feels like it's moving the energy, ask for the new tone where the energy is moving and follow it. Make a blueprint of the energy with your voice. For 10 more seconds, another deep inhale here. And tone it out. Let's go. Shake out the hands if you want. Shake out the feet. Use your body. Shake out the shoulders, your head, your neck. We're wanting to use our body to transmute the energy sometimes, to release it, to give a place to go, to channel it. Isn't that what mediumship is about? Channeling. It's about feeling, tuning in, channeling, listening, and following the guidance. The invitation is to close your eyes again. Shun, can I ask you to put on the Angel Dialogues playlist? Thank you so much. I'm going to say a prayer to the Creator as we have our eyes closed. Creator of all things, thank you so much for your light and your love. Thank you for this opportunity to connect to the divine within, for our willingness to be where we are now, right now, in full acceptance of what is so. as hard as that feels. As we understand, as the birds will fly for miles and miles, sometimes all day long as they travel, but they must always touch down. They must always land before they take their next flight. I create the possibility that we can land today, that we can land right where we are, in full acceptance and love and non-judgment, without expectation of how we might feel, how we might react. Creating the possibility that we are here for ourselves, not just as the one that we know that we are, but as individuals. And I invite you now to ask yourself the question, how am I wanting to feel? And to insert 2 descriptive terms. How am I wanting to feel? For me, I'm wanting to feel sweet. Giddy. How are you wanting to feel? 10 seconds. How are you wanting to feel now as a result of this session? Are you wanting to feel enlightened, awakened, freed, connected? How are you wanting to feel? 10 seconds. So much presence. Let's take one more deep breath here. Beautiful. When you're ready, coming back into the physical body, beginning to move the fingers, the toes, bringing the eyes to half mast, kind of bringing in that morning, how you look at the world in the morning, just half mast. Things are still blurry. And creating the invitation is to create the possibility that the room is different. And the room now expects you to be who you are now, and not who you were before you closed your eyes. Because I see who you really are. I know who you are. And everyone is creating everyone else over and over again in every moment. And you have a chance to remake yourself. And that's what mediumship is. You can't have a 2-hour class on a Friday morning, a 3-hour workshop on a Sunday night, a mediumship event on Wednesday night, private clients on Tuesday night, and the rest is turn it off. Somebody feel me? Right. Because it's who you are. It's who you are. It's who all of you are. You are connected to your loved ones. And you know what they're saying. You know every word. And the only thing ever blocking us is this. And it's the programming. And I'll give you an example of what I'm going to tune into your subconscious, actually, the collective subconscious here, and I'll tune into some of your blocks. If they resonate with you, they're yours. And if they don't, they're not. I don't have the right is coming up. I'm white is coming up. I'm nobody is coming up. Who would want to connect with me is coming up. Someone feels so trapped in their darkness. That they will not face God. Take a deep breath. Shoo, 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 shoo. 2 more. The invitation is to copy me if it feels right. Shoo, 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 shoo. 1 more deep breath. Shoo, 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 shoo. That's a problem, right? If we feel so trapped in our own darkness that we can't face God, because that's what we are. Right? How does it feel to wake up every morning and walk away from yourself? Every one of us knows that feeling. For years and years and years and years and decades. And it's terrifying the moment you realize how much you've abandoned yourself. And it's in that exact moment that God said, I loved you through that abandonment. And I get why. And it's okay. I was at the river. I usually go to the river to meditate and to download. And it's usually when I have a lot of work to do, right? And have a deadline, and I need to get somewhere. And Spirit says, go to the river. And I say, but I have a deadline, and I have to call these clients, and I have to shoot these emails, and I have to do this, and I have to do that, and I have to do that, and I won't get it done because I'm on this timeline. Can't you see? Can't you see that I'm on this timeline, and this is what I need? And Spirit says, that's valid. And go to the river. And I say, okay. And so I go to the river. And every single time I go to the river, which in my mind is forget everything, right? God just wants me to be in nature and connect to nature. I go to the river. Second I get at the river, I get like 10 downloads from my business. Happens every time. It's like my office. Whereas I would have been in front of my computer going, force, resist, force, resist, force, resist, force, resist. And so I was at the river, and Spirit said to me, you are to open a school. And I said, okay. And you're going to teach transmediumship. And I said, I don't know who you're talking to. It's so weird because I'm the only person by the river, but you're not talking to me, right? Because I'm not Bashar. I'm not Abraham Hicks. I'm not the Long Island medium. I don't have a following. And I've only been doing this for 5 years. They've been doing it for 20 years. Like, who's going to go to my school? And Spirit said, they don't teach. And of course, my analytical mind, my Virgo, had to go in and go, let me just double check that. I need a cross-reference. Turns out they don't teach. So I'm supposed to teach, okay. But you know how Spirit gives you one little nugget at a time? Because they know if you give all the nuggets at once, you'll be like, no! So I opened this school for mediumship. And 2 weeks into the school, I got another download that it was I was also going to teach shamanism. And I said, I already made my logo. I've already branded my website. It was the holistic school of mediumship. Like, no, I'm not getting back on Canva. I'm not making a new logo. And so I got online with my class, with all these women, and I said, I don't know how, I'm terrified how you guys are going to react to this, but we're now going to be teaching you shamanism. Sobbing, crying, and they said, this is exactly what I've been asking for. We're now opening a school in April for kids because we want them to grow up like we wish we would have been raised. Not being told that our astral projections is demons taking us out of our body. Not being told that fainting spell that felt like deja vu when we were in severe psychic trance downloads was because we had something wrong with our body. Right? And the biggest part was not being gaslit, that we sensed or felt something in somebody who was lying to themselves. Right? So I want to invite you, because you have helped me create this. This is not my school. This is our school. And it's now open to teens and women as well. And here's why. Because the medicine said the more that we get into smaller niche groupings, women who are this particular background, who have this experience, who have this experience, and we're getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and the box gets smaller, and it's exactly what happens when you have PTSD, because your mind says, that was scary, I didn't feel heard, I didn't feel known, I bet if I get smaller and stay here, it will be safe. But Spirit said to me to bring in the teens with the adults, men and women together. And I said, but I love working with just women. How are they going to talk about all their drama? And Spirit says, that's been the problem. Because you need the masculine in there. Yes, you need a container. And I said, but what about these kids? How are we going to talk about our adult issues? And they said, these kids have felt your adult issues since they were a child. And they need someone to acknowledge that. And I feel terrified because I've never done this before. Who feels terrified? Right? Exactly. Let's take a deep breath. Okay, I would love for us to go. Would you join me in an exercise? Okay. This is experimental. I've never done this before. You open to it? What about you? Okay, what about you? Okay. So the invitation, if it feels right, is to stand up. All of us are mediums. That's what they're telling me. So this is going to be easy for every one of us. What we're going to do is we're going to tune into our body, because our body is receiving the messages. What I do sometimes is I get up and I just wait for the messages to come. And I'll do this at home. And I'll wait till the very exact moment. And I'm going to do my best to guide you through it so you know what the moment feels like. And the invitation is to stay in this room, right? To stay in this room. But the invitation is to go exactly where and when you're being guided to go. and do exactly what you're being guided to. It could be for some of you, sit back down. It could be stay exactly where you are. It could be turn around. But the invitation is to feel your body as if you're 360 degrees. And so when you're turning into 360 degrees, some of us are going, how can I get from point 1 to degree 45? But we're not present in each and every degree. So feel into, the invitation is to just wave your arms for a second and feel as if you're moving through water. Feel the resistance. Slow down. Slow down. Feel the resistance. Feel the waves of the water. Feel the water reacting to you. And now one big circle. And the invitation is to be present for all 360 degrees. All 360 degrees. It's going to look like slowing down. The invitation is to tune back into yourself if you're tuning into somebody else's energy. Beautiful. You're ready. They said you're ready. Grounding your energy, maybe putting your feet hip distance apart. And I'm going to connect your heart to your third eye first. And then I'm going to ask you for 3 minutes to follow the nudges of where and how to go by your body. Let your body move you. Don't move your body. Let your body move you. You're going into an automated state of guidance. Imagining now, taking a deep breath, imagining a golden tunnel connecting from your heart chakra to your third eye chakra. And it's a flexible, beautiful golden tunnel with no interference that can come inside of this tunnel. Not cell phone tower interference, not the interference from telepathy from your neighbor or from your girlfriend or from anybody. And this is the most important part, not even your own mind can penetrate this golden tunnel from your heart to your third eye. And the invitation now is to ask your heart to open. And you can repeat after me if it feels right. I want you to feel what you want to feel to your heart. I want you to express what you want to express to your heart. And sense the energy from the heart, the data from the heart, transmitting to the third eye now. Sense it, but don't you dare. The invitation is to not eavesdrop. Don't put your ear on the door. Let your heart speak without needing to know what it's saying. Invite it one more time. Heart, I invite you to open and express everything you need to express. Everything and everything, even if it scares me. Because I want you to feel expressed. 10 seconds. 5. Don't let your mind get in the way. Drop back into being a witness. Beautiful. You're ready. One more deep breath from the top of the crown all the way down to the bottoms of the feet. The invitation now is to ask your body where it wants to go and what it wants to do. Some of you might tone, some of you might sing, some of you might move, but do not move until your body tells you to move. Jean, can you please put on Spirit Bird? Oh, no, the shaman song. Here we go. In 10, 9, tune into your body. It doesn't mean you move right away. In fact, some of you might be called to stay right where you are the whole time. And that's a challenge because we want to skip ahead and we want to jump the guidance. So tuning now in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and I'll meet you back here in 3 minutes. 5, 4, 3, 2. The other shaman song. And 1.
Mamangkuna shamangkuna kayariri.
Can you turn it up, please?
Mamangkuna shamangkuna kayariri. Sinchi sinchi cuerpecito, sinchi sinchi almacita. Gracias, Madre, gracias, Padre. Gracias, Huiracocha, Taitainuti, Mamaquia. Gracias, Mamacocha, Anampacha, Pachamama, Pacrachucuna. Llévame a tu mundo mágico y sagrado.
A little bit louder, please, Shun.
Purificación, sanación, sabiduría y fortaleza. Cúrame lo que tengas que curarme. Enséñame lo que tengas que enseñarme. Guíame donde tengas que guiarme.
Kina.
Noticing the parts of you that are trying to tell you should be doing something. Acknowledging those voices. And honoring and acknowledging yourself for not being convinced or manipulated by those voices, but instead tuning to exactly what your body is guiding you to do or not to do. Noticing any parts that feel awkward. The invitation is to send non-judgment their way. Noticing the parts of you that feel like you should be dancing, or that you want to be dancing, but again, acknowledging the parts perhaps that are not guiding you to go there. More seconds. Noticing the parts that say, I don't feel like I've been productive in these 3 minutes. I feel like I needed to have been productive. Being with any discomfort. Seconds. Bringing the presence back to the heart, third eye connection. 30 seconds. Ten seconds. 5, stay present. 4, stay right where you are. 3, stay present. 2, take a deep breath. The invitation is to come back into yourself. Perhaps wrap your arms around yourself, placing your hands over your heart. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself if it feels right to sit back down or whether you're wanting to change seats. Ask yourself if you're wanting to clear the energy before you sit down. Perhaps ask yourself if you'd like a drink of water, asking yourself what yourself wants to do next. Asking yourself what yourself wants to do next. What would feel juicy to me if I sat differently, if I stood differently, if I walked out of the room? What would feel juicy to me? And the invitation is to give yourself permission to do that next. Whatever it is that you're wanting, giving yourself permission to do that next. And go for it. I think we can go back to the angel dialogues. Yeah, thank you. Did anybody have a particularly amazing experience? I would love for you to share about it, if you're open. Does that feel all right? Okay.
What I felt as soon as the music started, I just allowed my body to just do and just flow with the music. So I felt like that was the beat of my soul. And I just felt so good to know that that connected to me. And just to be able to just move freely, because I've been stagnated. Now I can just freely move. And that's what I experienced. And it feels good to love yourself. To love yourself and to hear yourself. This is what I want to do. I want to dance. I want to feel good. I love myself. And that's what I felt. My heart just opened up and said, Susie, be free. You're free now. You're free. And that's what I felt. And I'm grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mom. So beautiful. Of course. Who knows who called that experience in for her? Who called that experience in for her? Right? Each of your souls has called in this experience in the way that you want it to be for you. Did anybody else say? I think somebody else. There was one other person. That's all right. I love how I'm talking into the guest mic because I own my extra, okay? I've got a lot to say. You're welcome. Because when I give myself permission to be extra, who gets permission to be extra? Right? Yes. And when people come to cacao ceremonies, I just need the extra mic. When people come to cacao ceremonies, I make sure that I drop so incredibly deep into my trance state that they attune to my energy, and it gives them permission. And that's what Spirit said to me. I have 22 workshops that I lead over the course of our school year, 22 3-hour workshops. And I created 13 of them. And then the plant medicine said to me, you are not to prepare one more class. And I said, have you seen my chart? Do you know how much Virgo's in my chart? Like, can't I just peek? I said. Can't I just peek? I just want to feel safe. And Spirit said, no, you don't. You want to feel free. And the only way you're going to have the resilience, the stamina to keep this school open for more than 1 year, because hello, that's my past. Raise your hand if you resonate with that. Open something up and then shut it right down. Tower moment, burn it down. Spirit said, because you can't keep anything open in your life unless you're free. And I told my class that. I said, listen, I know you're paying all this money, but I'm not going to prepare for class anymore. And they trust me. And they said, okay. And it's been magical. Because what the medicine says is you can't teach mediumship by talking about it. You must attune people to the energy and show them what it feels like to follow the guidance. In every moment, no matter what, even if that looks like taking a pause and looking like you don't know what you're doing. Because in that moment, those people that are feeling awkward about that are meant to feel that. Right? Who has had a fear around transmediumship, around allowing spirits to come through you like that? It's terrifying, right? But you know they're there. And you know they're calling you. You can feel it. And you have what it takes. I'm not any more special than you. No part of me is more special than you. Take a deep breath. The fear is of letting go, isn't it? Complete surrender. And a fear of being taken over. For me, having experienced the Me Too moments in my life, it's real. The fear of being taken over is real. The fear of being in that moment where you can't come back to yourself because your spirit had to escape because you were in the middle of trauma. And it's happened for most of us / all of us. That's why we're scared of trauma, not because of the trauma itself, but because the moment we separate from ourselves. And the invitation is through mediumship to invite yourself to come back in. And not only take space again, and not only develop that relationship that we're all mastering now between your masculine and your feminine, and having that divine union inside, but mostly to be what you are. To be what you are. What you are. What you are. Exactly. So, I'm going to bring the angels through just for a few minutes because they're wanting to speak with you. And then I think we're almost out of time. Let me look. We're getting there. It's going to be perfect. Of course. Of course it is. And you'll start right on time. Welcome, by the way. I love your energy. Thank you for being here. This is so exciting. So let's bring the angels through and raise your hand if you were here on Wednesday night, or nod or wink or whatever feels right. Awesome. So some of you have had this experience. So I'm just going to bring the angels through because they just want to speak to your heart. And no. So I'm tuning in now and I'm asking, does this feel right? Does this feel right? No. Okay. So basically I'm getting this stream of ideas, and that's what trance channeling is, but it's one word at a time. So imagine, close your eyes if you don't mind. Imagine a stream of words coming through. Just like literally exactly like the auto suggestions in your text message. So there's all of these suggestions of words. And you choose one word at a time like a Ouija board. One movement at a time, just like you practiced in your body tuning meditation in that 3 minutes that we got to play. And the only way you know which word to choose is by what feels right. If it doesn't feel right, it cannot be chosen. And so that's how you attune to the energy. And the energy will never feel like pushy. It will never feel like convincing. It will never feel like manipulative. It will never be judgmental. And so the invitation, as I call the angels through, is to feel for that. Feel into every single word and why they chose that particular word. Okay, so they're going to work with you too. They said they're going to work with you. If you can open your eyes if you would like, or you can stay in your own inner space. I'm going to have my eyes closed. If you would, after this alarm goes off, we'll have time to close, but we'll probably be channeling for about 10 minutes. And we will end on time. If you have your eyes open and you haven't seen me channel before, the invitation is to just know that my facial expressions might be a little bit jarring. So if you're visually sensitive, feel free to keep your eyes closed if that feels better for you. Creator of all things, thank you so much for your light and your love. Thank you for this opportunity to connect to the divine within. Thank you for who we are. Thank you for this opportunity to connect to who we are. Not individually, not even collectively. Who we are. I command the possibility to connect with the angels. I command to be connected to the angels that are the highest vibration, that are in alignment with the Creator's vibration, that are here for the highest and best good of all. For the highest and best good in the highest and best way. Thank you, Creator. It is done, it is done, it is done. Why are you wanting to be with us every time you are asking? You are already answering yourself. No one is wanting to know, and everyone is wanting to feel. No one is wanting to know, and everyone is wanting to feel. You are experiencing a big, huge, amazingly ginormous push of energy right now. Rachel doesn't like talking about these things. She's not really that into astrology, but we hear some of you are. And yes, there is a big push of energy right now, and you have been feeling it. You have been feeling it. You have been feeling it. And you are all wanting to know why it's there. And we say, because It is. And you say, but why can't you tell us? Because that will help us to feel better. And we say, we will never change your conditions in order for you to feel better, dear one. That is up to you. You are the creator of your own experience. And that is how you can feel in control, in charge, is by deciding and choosing how you are wanting to feel, no matter what you are experiencing on the outside. So we ask you the same question Rachel has asked you over and over and over again, but we will ask you in a different way. How would you want to feel if you felt deserving of feeling that way? How would you want to feel if you felt deserving of feeling that way? Right now. Right now. Right now. Sometimes there is nothing to say. And some of you are saying, why do I feel like I have to input in those spaces? But nothing needs to be said. Each of you are telepathic beings. You were not meant to speak. Listen closely. You were not meant to speak because you have to. You were not meant to speak because you have to. You were not meant to speak because you have to. You were not meant to speak to communicate. You are telepathic beings. You are not needing to speak to communicate. You were given voice to express that which you are wanting to express. Wanting to express. Never having to express. You are meant to sing and laugh and express joy and humor. But you were not meant to express that which felt like you needed to express it. And some of you are saying, but my partner needs to hear this. And we say, your partner already heard you. It is you that have not it is you that has not acknowledged yourself. Anything you are wanting to get off of your chest or having to get off of your chest is that which you have not yet validated yourself. So take a deep breath. And we invite you to tune into what you are wanting to get off of your chest or having to get off of your chest. And say to yourself, I acknowledge that you feel that way. And I validate that you feel that way. Without you needing to have a reason. It's okay. We will do a clearing with you, and we will attune you to the truth of who you are. And then Rachel says, we need to round it up on time, she says. We will oblige. If it feels right, you can repeat after us to yourself. I release that it is wrong for me to be very powerful. I release all of my resistance around this. I release that if I am very powerful, that means I will overpower people. that means others will be made to feel small. I release all of this. I release my need to feel bigger than anyone else. Because I have felt so small. I release my need to feel better than anyone else. Because I have felt so less. I release my need to be further ahead than everyone else. Because I have felt so behind. It is not wrong for you to want whatever you are wanting. Everyone wants to be more attractive. And they can work on themselves all the day long. And they can get all of the latest, all the things, and they will still want to be more attractive. You will want more money. You will want more success. You will want better relationships. You will want for everything you are wanting day in and day out. But what would it feel like? And you can ask yourself this question. What would it feel like if I wanted to be right where I am? As well as wanting to be where I think I'm not. Because we have a secret to tell you. You are already there, dear one. You are everywhere all at once. And it behooves you to no longer ask the question, when? But instead ask, where? Because when is always right now. Imagine you are in the middle of a matrix. We just made that up. See yourself in the middle of all of these poignant points that are interconnected. Feel yourself focused upon from all directions. Your physical bodies moving the energy around you as you are a conduit of earth and cosmic, as well as all of the other things you don't know about just yet. Energy. You can repeat after us if you are wanting. I create the possibility that it is okay for me to feel very powerful and to sense everyone else as equally powerful. Everyone. I am open and willing to see myself as someone who is so powerful that I attune everyone around me to their own power. What we are doing, dear one, when we ask you to include everyone around you, is we are including all of the parts of you in your own psyche have felt left out, powerless, disempowered. Rachel says, we have 10 more minutes. But we will end earlier. We are wanting you to know that every cell in your body, every fragment of your energetic being, anywhere your energy has ever existed, will exist and also exist now, is that which God is. Even that part. And even that part. And even that feeling. And even that shame. And even that darkness. And even that wanting to hide. Take a deep breath. Even that feeling, no matter what you are feeling, God is where you are. Your sovereign soul is where you are. And here is the most important part. Wanting to be where you are. Wanting to be right where you are. We invite you to open your heart and accept that the sovereign being that you are wants to be exactly what you are. That you have a team of angels and spirit guides, some of you aliens and ancestors, galactic beings, but mostly yourself, as you are the leader and you are being looked up to for guidance. And all you need to do is tell your team what you're wanting. And we invite you to never question again whether something is good or bad for you based on logic or reason. Not even based on what you think your spirit guides are needing you to do. But understanding that we are always and every time wanting that which you are wanting. And our guidance is only to align you to that which you are wanting. Every time. And the only reason you are not experiencing that which you think you are wanting is because you are either afraid to have it, you feel undeserving of it, you think you're not ready for it, you think you have to work harder for it, you think it's impossible, and that's about it. Otherwise, it is right where you are. Again, asking where and not when. Rachel says, round it up, angels. We say one more exercise, and then we'll be done. We invite you to reach your hands out. Rachel will show you. And reach for everything you're wanting. Reach far, far, far. Reach for it. The more you want it, the more you reach. The more you want it, the more you reach. Reach. I want it. And now, dear one, take a deep breath. And slowly bring your hands back inside. Because here is where everything is. Everything you think other people have that you don't. It can only come from here. Repeat after us if you are wanting. It can only come from here. Take a deep breath. You are all things and you have nothing to fear. You are all things. You are all things. You have nothing to fear. We are loving you. We have always loved you. We will always love you. And you are what we are. You are what we are. Every one of you. We are what you are. We are family. The invitation is to start tapping on the body if that feels right, anywhere where you feel like energy is wanting to move or just assisting in any energy. Perhaps rubbing on the body, not to re-energize it unless that's what you're wanting, but just feeling yourself. Whatever feels right, asking yourself that question again, what feels right, what feels juicy? Noting how you're feeling and knowing that there will not be any pressure to get up and talk. If you're wanting to be in your own space, the invitation is just to stay right where you are. But I'm going to say a prayer of integration and then we'll close. And our next guest, Tone, I believe, will be up in just a few minutes after we get him set up. And you're invited to take a small break and would love for you to join us. Obviously asking yourself what I'm wanting to do next. If that feels like staying right where you are, that's the invitation. Creator of all things, thank you so much for your light and your love. Thank you for this possibility of being here together, of connecting to this energy, of connecting to ourselves, of giving ourselves permission, of creating attunement with our sovereignty. I command that all of this data be fully integrated on all 4 levels, past, present, and future lives, future generations and past generations, deep in the DNA, deep in our energetic field, in the upper, middle, and lower worlds, deep in this core lifetime, deep in the soul level, wherever our energy has ever existed, will exist, or exists now, that we be affected by this in the way that we are wanting to be affected, in the way that we're wanting to feel the effect as individuals. For the highest and best good in the highest and best way. Thank you, Creator. It is done. It is done. It is done. Aho. Thank you, gods and goddesses.